$4,150 a month. That is the base pay of a brand new officer in 2026, and there is a path that hands you the degree and the rank at the same time. It is called ROTC, and there is one number inside it that erases most of what families fear about paying for college. We will get to that number.
ROTC stands for Reserve Officers Training Corps. It is a college program you take on campus right alongside whatever major you choose, and you finish it as a commissioned officer.
Today we go deep on how that actually works, branch by branch, including who it fits and who should walk away.
Hey everyone, Isabella here. Think of it as two transcripts at once. One is your biology or engineering degree. The other is a 4-year apprenticeship in leading people.
This is Chris. The finish line is the part that gets people. You graduate, and within a day or two, you raise your right hand and pin on the gold bar of a second lieutenant.
And here is the honest part most recruiting pages whisper. The scholarship is not a gift. You sign a contract, and that contract is a real commitment we are going to lay out plainly.
It runs across all 5 Department of Defense services: Army, Navy, Marines through the Navy program, Air Force, and the Space Force commissions through Air Force ROTC.
Let me set up how the whole pipeline flows, from freshman orientation to that commission, so the rest of the video clicks into place. You enroll as a normal student, add the ROTC track, and move through 4 stages tied to your class year.
Freshman and sophomore years are low pressure. You take a military science class, you do physical training, and you can usually try it with 0 obligation before you ever sign.
Then comes the contract in the paid stage, a summer training rotation, and on graduation day, the commission, 5 clean steps.
A viewer named Marcus, a high school senior with 2 college acceptances, asked the question that frames this whole episode. Erica, read it to the room.
Yes, and it is the right question. He asks, is ROTC actually free college, or am I signing away years of my life without realizing it? That is exactly what we are answering.
Both halves of that, money and years, in plain numbers. Next up, the scholarship itself, and the figure that erases most of a tuition bill.
The scholarship can erase your tuition bill entirely, or instead pay your housing, and you pick which one helps you most. Start with the Army because its structure is the clearest. A national 4-year scholarship is the headline award, and there are 3-year and 2-year campus versions too. The Army scholarship pays either your full tuition and fees, or room and board, capped around $10,000 a year. You choose the side that costs you more.
On top of that tuition piece, every contracted Army cadet draws a monthly stipend of $420 across the 10-month school year, plus $1,200 a year for books.
Hold on, that stipend is real cash every month as a full-time student.
Exactly, Chris. It is not a loan and you never repay it. For a lot of cadets, that is groceries and gas handled before the semester even starts.
Navy and Air Force run the same idea with their own dollar figures. Let me put the 3 side by side so you can compare them honestly.
The Navy program pays full tuition and fees, a book stipend of $375 a semester, and a monthly stipend that climbs from $250 up to $400 by senior year.
Air Force is the one with tiers, and the difference is real money. Type 1 covers full tuition at any school with no cap, public or private.
Type 2 caps tuition at $18,000 a year, and Type 7 pays full tuition but only up to the in-state public rate. Air Force books run $900 a year now, not the old $600.
And here is the trap nobody circles for you. A tuition award is not a dorm award.
Right. If the scholarship pays tuition, you still owe room, board, and meals out of pocket, so run the math on the bill that is actually largest for your school before you choose a side.
Chris had the question every parent eventually asks, so let me hand it to him.
Yes, and it is the practical one. If my kid gets the scholarship, do they still take out any student loans at all? That is what families really want to know.
Often the answer is no if you match the award to your biggest bill. But if tuition is covered and housing is your big cost, you may still borrow for the dorm, so plan that gap on purpose.
Let me pause for just a second because this genuinely helps. If you are getting value here, hit that like button, then subscribe and ring the bell. It costs you nothing, and it is the single biggest thing that keeps these videos coming. Here's the fork that actually decides this for a 17-year-old. Take the ROTC scholarship now and commission as an officer, or enlist first and use tuition assistance and the GI Bill later. The money looks similar, but the lives are not. Erica makes the case for the scholarship straight out of high school, while Chris pushes the enlist first path, and I land the verdict.
The scholarship path is the most efficient officer factory we have. You finish your degree on schedule, debt-free, and you start at O1 pay, $4,150 a month in 2026. Time and money, both protected.
And you have decided your 20s at 18. The Enlist First cadet serves a few years, learns whether the military even fits them, then uses tuition assistance or the GI Bill, and can still commission later through OCS.
But that enlisted detour costs years, and you may never finish the degree. Most who plan to commission later do not. The scholarship locks the officer outcome in from day one.
Hold on, the detour is the feature, not the bug.
A feature that costs you 4 extra years before you even start the degree? I would rather lock the outcome in and protect the time.
Fair, but an 18-year-old does not know if they want 8 years of military life. Enlisting first is a test drive with a paycheck before anyone signs a decade away.
Both of you are right about a different person, and the picture at the end of the road is the same either way. A pinning ceremony where freshmen become officers.
That is the outcome the scholarship buys, and it buys it on time, debt-free, 4 years after move-in day.
Beautiful outcome, no argument. I just want the kid who is not sure to know there is a door that does not start with a contract.
So here's the verdict, and it depends on one thing: certainty. If a student is confident they want to be an officer and can carry the academics, the ROTC scholarship wins clearly. Per Gormy and the official defense pay tables, it is faster, debt-free, and starts at officer pay. If they are genuinely unsure, Chris is right. Enlist first, test the life, keep tuition assistance and the GI Bill in your pocket, and commission later if it fits. Match the path to your certainty, not to the bigger brochure. Now the part the brochure puts in small print. Every dollar of that scholarship is borrowed against your time, and the contract spells out exactly how much.
Take the Army Scholarship Cadet. The total military service obligation is 8 years, and the most common shape is 4 years on active duty, followed by 4 years in the Guard Reserve or inactive Ready Reserve.
If you skip the scholarship and contract as a non-scholarship cadet, the active duty piece drops to 3 years, less money up front, fewer years owed.
The other branches set their own numbers. The Navy option owes 5 years active, while the Marine option owes 4, and those midshipmen pin on Marine second lieutenant bars.
Wait, before you move on, what about pilots?
Good catch. Flight school stacks years on top, and it is a lot.
Pilots owe far more. For Army aviators who started flight training in 2020 or later, 10 years of active duty after they finish training. Air Force pilots are in the same neighborhood. Wings are expensive in time, so go in with your eyes open about that decade.
So let us total up what the scholarship is really worth, because the time only makes sense if you see the dollars it replaces. Picture a 4-year national scholarship at a state school.
Tuition and fees alone can run $60,000 over 4 years at a public school, and far more at a private one.
Add the stipend, $420 a month, 10 months a year, 4 years. That is $16,800 of walking around money you never pay back.
Then 4 years of book money, another $4,800.
Add it up and you are looking at more than $81,000, and that is before a single officer paycheck. At a private school, the number can pass $200,000.
So weigh it plainly. $81,000 and a guaranteed officer career against 8 years of your life on the military schedule. For the right person, that trade is excellent. For the wrong person, it is a cage.
4 doors lead to that gold bar, and choosing wisely starts with the branch, because the branch decides the job, the culture, and where you wake up for the next decade.
Before we sort the doors, look at what they all lead to. This is a real commissioning ceremony, the moment ROTC is built around.
These are newly commissioned officers on their pinning day in dress whites, taking their first salute. 4 years earlier, they were freshmen with a class schedule and an ROTC contract. Every branch ends here.
Army ROTC is the biggest by far, and it opens the widest set of officer fields, from infantry to cyber to logistics.
Naval ROTC is the clever one. It commissions Navy ensigns and, through its Marine option, Marine Corps second lieutenants, all inside a single program on the same campus.
Air Force ROTC is the surprise for a lot of students. It commissions Air Force officers and Space Force guardians, since the Space Force does not run an ROTC of its own.
Let me line up the 4 programs on the things that actually differ so you can see your door at a glance. Same gold bar at the end, but the commission, the obligation, and the lifestyle are different in each lane.
The honest filter is this. Do not pick the branch with the prettiest scholarship tier. Pick the branch whose actual job and daily life you would still want at year 7.
And start the rep now. Email the ROTC detachment at the schools you applied to and ask one question: what does a contracted freshman owe and earn here? That single email tells you more than any brochure.
If you carry one idea out of here, make it this. ROTC trades years for a debt-free degree and an officer's career, so the only question that matters is whether you want that life. Send this to anyone weighing how to pay for college, then answer that one question first. Quick version before we close. ROTC is a college program that pays for school and finishes with an officer's commission, and the price is a multi-year service contract you should read with clear eyes.
Tonight you can do the one move that decides everything. List the bill that is actually largest at your school, tuition or housing, and you will know in 5 minutes which side of the scholarship to chase.
Next time, the one officer door that does not require a degree first. We break down OCS and wait until you see how fast an enlisted member can pin on that gold bar mid-career.
If these in-service breakdowns help you plan, subscribe and hit like, because we keep these pay and scholarship numbers current every single year. Here is the one for the comments. If you took the ROTC scholarship, was the 8-year commitment worth it? And would you sign it again?
I learned something putting this one together, and I hope you did too.
Work smarter, then work harder. See you next time.
Not bad, Kai. I would give that a solid 8 out of 10. This is Professor Erica. Thanks for watching and signing off.